Welcome, everyone, to Murdoch Stadium on the campus of El Camino College in Torrance, California, to this World Cup qualifying game. I'm John Paul Della Camera. Alongside me is Seamus Mallon. It's the U.S. versus Trinidad Tobago. And even though the U.S. is considered a favorite here at home, it may not be that easy, Seamus.
Well, if you look at the record book, Trinidad Tobago has won only one match of their last 13, but they've had some impressive ties, and they had to get a draw away in Honduras and get a goal, and they did it in remarkably fine fashion. So I think this is a better team than might appear on paper. They also have a new coach in Gally Cummings. They have a much more committed federation behind them. I think there's a new spirit in this Trinidad and Tobago team, and I think that spells trouble.
How about the U.S., Seamus, in regard to confidence? They know they can beat this team. Could they be overconfident for this?
I think the match with Costa Rica may have deflated their confidence a little bit. One of the things they've got to work on is locking up 1-0 victories and not giving away bad chances near the end.
Well, they're the home team, and so far in World Cup qualifying play, the home teams have won every game. Stay with us. The kickoff is next from Torrance, California. Welcome back, everyone, to Murdoch Stadium on the campus of El Camino College. A World Cup qualifying match between the United States national team and Trinidad Tobago, and we are just about set for the kickoff. It's going to be Brent Goulet and Bruce Murray for the U.S. team in white, Trinidad Tobago in the red and black. And we should be all set for play here. Crowd still coming in to Murdoch Stadium. U.S. team still has some injuries. Rick Davis, Hugo Perez, and Paul Crumpy not a part of this team, but we're told that Perez may be back fairly soon, and that could be a big help to this U.S. team. Right now they're holding up the kickoff. The referee signals to play, and here we go. Good rooting section as well here from the Trinidad area. People rooting for their home country as we see Marcelo Balboa with it. To John Stolmeyer, former Indiana All-American. It's blocked by Hudson Charles. And now Windishman for Murray. Blocked there by the header of Clayton Morris. And now Trinidad will play it back to Earl Carter, their starting goalkeeper. On the far side of the field, Leonston Lewis, one of the players I think to watch for this team, as it's knocked away, and over that end line it'll go, and Earl Carter will have a goal kick.
Well, let's take a look at the U.S. team. Bonoli in goal, Trichu, Windishman the captain, Balboa and Harks in the back. In midfield, Ramos, Stolmeyer, Klopas and Murray, and up front, Brent Goulet and George Pastore, although he may play more in midfield, and he replaces Brian Bliss, who has been injured and unable to start.
Coming back for the U.S. Played up and broken up by Trinidad, and it is just played back to the keeper Earl Carter. Bliss has a sprained knee problem, although he could come on as a substitute, and Ramos was bothered by a tendon problem, and the thinking there is if you start them both and one of them goes down, you're really limiting yourself substitution wise.
Well, I would guess it will be Murray playing more front than midfield, but we'll see.
Long ball the other way for Trinidad, headed up by Balboa, the 19-year-old from San Diego. A battle for it, little holding going on between both players, and Pastore knocks it to Ramos and then Murray. Trying to put it into space, but Ramos was detained.
An early game nervous pass there by Bruce Murray. The give and go not really on, but he tried to force it. That must be a foul on Balboa, jumping up to challenge against Leonson Lewis.
Murray's had a great week of practice, had a fine exhibition game against the local club where he scored 3 goals, but it wasn't so much that game. He's been laying off balls very well. Nice touch during practice all week. The team was here at the beginning part of the week training for this big game. U.S. team with 2 points in the overall standings. Would love to make it 4 today with a long ball. Vanoli is there to make an easy play. Right side for Frankie Klopas. Born actually in Greece, became a U.S. citizen early. Attended high school in the Chicago area. It goes out of play. Klopas on the throw, and instead he's going to give that up.
Well, let's take a look at what Trinidad has today. Earl Carter there at goal, Clayton Morris, Dexter Francis, Marvin Faustin, and Brian Williams in the back. And midfield, Lawrence, Allen, Latapi, and Hudson Charles, and then Lewis and Alabi up front for them.
Trinidad will break things up. Played over on the far side of the field. Stolmeyer got a piece of it, went out of play. Throw in coming up on that side of the field, and Trinidad will be putting it in play. Scoreless tie if you're just joining us. here at Murdoch Stadium. And the only clock that I see so far in the stadium is not functioning at this time, so we're going to have to figure out another way to give you the unofficial time. The referee, of course, keeps that time on the field. Klopas getting a nice ball from Murray. Klopas, can he do something with it? Tripped up just outside of the box, and a foul is indicated.
Well, but there you see the skill of Frank Klopas and the very useful characteristic he gives to the United States team on the far side. They need some good wide players with skill. Like Klopas, he beats one man, he almost beats another, but puts great pressure on that far side of the Trinidad defense, and now the U.S. has the first serious free kick opportunity of the match.
Klopas, a good one-on-one player. Now Ramos, who scored the only goal against Costa Rica in the 72nd minute, will put it in play for the U.S. A scoreless tie opening minutes of play here in Torrance, California. Sent across, headed down by Trinidad. Big shot by Harks, blocked by Williams. Into the air, Murray. And it's stopped by Carter, but nice job by the U.S.
Pushing on Murray there, given a foul, but good challenge in there by Bruce. Trying to get up in the air and win that one. He's very good in the air. Of course, his header, as you saw at the top of the program here today, was what set up the shooting opportunity for Ramos to get that all-important one goal against Costa Rica.
Harks throw in to Windishman, the team captain in place of the injured Rick Davis. Now it's Balboa going long. Murray with a good run. Bruce Murray bothered there in the box. Was it a handball? Harks is arguing wanted a penalty kick for a handball.
Well, I don't know if we can see this, but they certainly were convinced, and the linesman is not helping out here. To the referee, sure, let's take a look. There's the bounce, and here comes the hand. Oh, my Lord. Oh, well, he swatted it away with his hand.
Yeah, I would call that, Seamus.
And the hand of God, as Maradona called it against England in Mexico, has proved to be on Trinidad Tobago's side in this early going. The referee, Agnolin from Italy, a very experienced referee.
2 weeks ago, Seamus, Costa Rica was unlucky. Let's hope that's not a bad omen for the U.S.
Here's another look. You see the ball bouncing, and there goes the hand. And it looks like he really did flick it, although his head was up there too, attempting to knock it away. Of course, that ball had gotten inside him, then Murray was in free with a chance to score. And I think what the defender tried to do was to try to look as though he was heading it, but it seemed to me, anyhow, from those replays, to have touched it with the hand.
Coming back in midfield, Trinidad Tobago in the scoreless tie. Russell Latifi looking for Allen. Against Tritchu. In the corner, knocked away by Windishman. And there should be a corner kick coming up here for Trinidad. So their first good scoring opportunities. We look at Mike Windishman. Played at Adelphi University.
The linesman, of course, also from Italy, Mr. Magni and Mr. Papadesta, along with Luigi Agnolin, a very experienced man who handled the France-West Germany World Cup semifinal last time around.
Let's see what Trinidad does with this corner. Latifi in motion. Played long, and you can hear the meal keeper as Benoli makes the play. This is sort of a home field for David Benoli. He lives in the Manhattan Beach area of California, but he's played a lot of games here, college practices with UCLA, some LA Heat games a couple years back. So he's pretty familiar with this area, with this turf. Played long on the right side, and it's deflected out of play. Throw in coming up. It is a scoreless tie. Stay with us. We'll come back to Torrance with more. We are back live as Murray finds Goulet. Back to Murray. Williams was on him. That was an offside call, but U.S. showing a lot more imagination, I think, offensively, Seamus, than a couple of weeks back against Costa Rica.
Well, Bruce Murray there in your screen is an important player. I mentioned his ability in the air, but he also likes to go wide and to get the ball played to feet. He receives the ball very well, I think, does Bruce Murray, particularly with his back to goal. He can take the ball well and get that first step away from a defender as the ball is played to him, which is a very useful talent. And he does have a great hunger for goal.
U.S. team trying to get into a rhythm. They thought they played too slowly in Costa Rica, maybe too fast, maybe a little too nervous, too much excitement in game 2 against Costa Rica in St. Louis as the foul is called. And here they want to just settle things down a bit and get more consistency as well into their game. Know what to do in certain situations.
Well, they got to shake off the disappointment about that penalty not being given. They know all about penalties, having survived one last week or 2 weeks ago.
Murray in the air. Wanted Goulet, it looked like, but Carter was there.
Well, there you saw Murray's ability to get up and be a good target player.
Right side it goes. Allen. On the cross. Headed out by John Stolmeyer.
Oh, and such an important clearance by Stolmeyer. 2 players from Trinidad and Tobago waiting to get their head on that one.
It's actually Alabi on that cross. Nice idea for Trinidad. Right side, Klopas was looking, and it's broken up. Taken back and controlled. Trinidad goes wide to Brian Williams. Scoreless tie, opening minutes of play here at Murdoch Stadium. Trinidad Tobago in the red. Leonson Lewis sends a long one in. Looked harmless. Vinoli lost it off a short hop. And now it's Balboa.
Well, it's good to see from the point of view of quality soccer, and good to see the Trinidad defenders coming forward, as we just saw that time by Brian Williams on one side and Clayton Morris on the other side. One of the things that you have to watch about as you overlap is that not everybody goes at once.
Murray from Harks.
Obstruction there, Charlie.
Yeah, Morris did a good job of detaining him. The U.S. will put the ball in play. John Harks. Windishman comes up to help. John Harks, Missouri Athletic Club Player of the Year in 1987. In the scoreless tie. Leaves it for Windishman. Low cross. Looked like it was miskicked by Trinidad. Yeah, they're going to give up a corner. So that's obviously not their intent there. The U.S. with another good chance here. Tab Ramos, becoming this club's playmaker, will put it into play. Still scoreless here in Torrance, California.
Well, they got 2 men looking out for the dangerous number 3 for the United States, Bruce Murray.
Ramos goes to the outside. Tritchu strong in the air. He got crunched. That was quite a collision. Tritchu will always come up from the back in those situations. Ball played back. U.S. trying to stay onside, but Murray is called offside. I like, though, the U.S. imagination here from a couple of weeks ago. It's obvious that they've done a lot of work in practice this week.
Well, that was not a bad idea to drop the ball over the top of the defense there. Trinidad should get credit for pulling everybody offside. But if the U.S. players could have withdrawn as quickly with them to midfield, and then the ball was played back over the defense, you can all of a sudden make a U-turn and head that way and have all kinds of room to run onto a ball while the Trinidad defense is heading the wrong direction. So it's a dangerous ploy, but it worked.
Unofficial time, 34 minutes, just under, remaining in the first half. Scoreless time. Long shot from Trinidad. Vinoli got a piece. Still loose for Alabi. And there was a whistle somewhere on that far side.
Yeah, it hit, he touched it over the top, and it hit the supporting bar behind the crossbar, the bar that holds up the net. So the referee awarded a corner kick, as he should. You'll see it's a dangerous ball. He touched it up, it goes over the crossbar. Now you see it hit the supporting bar behind. That's what made it come back.
And we're back to the live action, and Vinoli intercepts that cross rather easily. Scoreless tie between the U.S. national team and Trinidad Tobago. This is the 3rd game for the U.S. in World Cup qualifying play. For Trinidad Tobago, it is their 1st game.
That's right.
It's David Vinoli from Manhattan Beach, California. He lives about 15 minutes away. But I'll tell you, all he did with his parents and friends here was make phone calls. He tried not to see anybody, keeping this game in complete focus.
Good move by John Harks.
Left side, Pastor. Played indoors and outdoors last few seasons. Ramos. Nice job. Oh, he had 3 players there beaten with some great dribbling. Straight up into the air, Ramos and Morris. And they're going to call Ramos for pushing. Trinidad will be taking the ball. We'll come back to Torrance in just a moment. It's scoreless. As we come back, that man, Elliot Allen, guilty of a pushing foul. It's a scoreless tie. U.S. with a free kick coming up.
Overlapping run to the far side by Balboa, but just simply wasn't on. It's a short kick now to Harks.
From Mike Windishman, John Harks into the penalty area. It's headed down. Trinidad not looking so sharp on that one. And now Williams doesn't want to give up a corner. Cleared out. Nice job.
Beautifully done by Trinidad.
Knocked out by Trichu.
Looked like a risky thing to do there by the defender Brian Williams, making that back heel. But, oh, there's a very nice piece of work also by Hudson Charles.
Plays it up. Right side. Latipi. Stolmeyer after him. So is Windishman. Latipi, good job. He stays in control of the ball. Outside the penalty area, now it's Williams sending it in low off the back heel of Harks. Vinoli calling for it. It's punched away, but it looked like it was last touched by Alibi. And a goal kick coming up. But Vinoli very aggressive, as the U.S. would like him to be. And their assistant coach and goalkeeper coach, Joe Macknick, has really worked with the goalkeepers on that goalkeeper aggressiveness.
Well, he came a little bit late on this one. The ball dropping a bit faster than anticipated. He's actually beaten to that by the attacker. I think it was in the outside. Was it Albi?
Yeah.
Okay, but it was a very. That could have been a dangerous. That could have been a goal, really, because he did arrive a split second too late.
You surprised at the style of play from Trinidad here?
No, I think it's very pleasant to watch. It's a skillful team. They like to use their skill, and that's what we expected to see. And it was nice to see the U.S. players trying to show their skill a little bit, with Ramos doing a nice piece of work, and of course Klopas with the early move on the far side.
Balboa finding Trichu, former All-American from SIU Edwardsville. Goulet over the shoulder, couldn't quite find it, and now it's sent back the other way. Trichu high into the air, is looking for Murray, and that's broken up by Trinidad. Played up now, and Trinidad in control of the ball.
Bad giveaway there by John Stolmeyer, but Balboa should be able to take care of business.
And he does for Ramos. Tab Ramos, only goal in that match with Costa Rica.
Good play by Tab again. Tried the long cross ball, was blocked. And oh, there's a great ball by Ramos.
Pastor will take it to the outside against Clayton Morris. Knocked away. Morris did a good job. They'll only get a throw-in out of that. Did not give up the corner. Pastor's going to let Stolmeyer take it.
Yeah, it'll be a long throw-in by Stolmeyer. George Pastor, a good, hard-working player. Doesn't look to me, though, to have that necessary skill on the one-on-one situation down the flanks where you really need to beat a defender quickly and expose the territory behind him. He hasn't been able to do it yet.
On the Stolmeyer throw-in, Goulet. Klopas in the air against three players, and now banged out of there by Latipi. Windishman. Back for it. Off his left foot up for Goulet. Just barely got a piece of that, and Earl Carter will come out and lay claim to this. Long throw for Lewis. Knocking it away, but Windishman, the U.S. national team sweeper, is back for it.
Very good, excuse me, JP, a very good release pass, though, from the goalkeeper, Earl Carter. And that's, so far, Trinidad playing a very intelligent and interesting game. I mean, they've got some skill. They're not taking unnecessary risks.
Ramos will leave it for Stolmeyer. Under 28 minutes to go in the first half of play. As it's played back to Carter. It's a scoreless tie here at Murdoch Stadium. Trinidad going long. Trichu missed time to leap. Right side for Alibi. Windishman is back. Stolmeyer comes back. Good move inside, and it's blocked by Stolmeyer. Actually, a couple of deflections, but Alibi showed a lot of creativity there.
Corner
kick coming up. Trinidad, Alibi, we didn't see a couple of years ago, Seamus. Part of the new look from the new coach Cummings, as well as the goalkeeper. They've gone through three goalkeepers, actually. This is the third one since the Pan American Games.
And also on the bench for Trinidad and Tobago is Dexter Skeen, wearing number 7, who played at Columbia University in New York. And we'll see if he gets a chance to play. Richard Chinapu, of course, a Trinidadian citizen, is not here. He's with Dallas in the MISL playoffs.
That's right, his team would not release him for this. They're still playing some important games. Played in, and Trichu clears it, but not out of danger. On the Williams pass, Trinidad still with it. Latipi, they tried to give and go. They get a good break here, coming into the penalty area. Vinoli got it as Stolmeyer bumped into a Trinidad player, and the referee apparently doesn't buy that. Oh, I thought he was going over there to help the player up. Apparently he did not buy that. Marvin Faustin.
Well, there certainly was some contact there, but I think it was a bit of a 50-50 thing. And, of course, it's John Stolmeyer coming over to check him off the play. Well, John, a little lucky there. These things in slow motion, though, are often slow motion replay, and no offense intended to our workers in the truck, but they sometimes can take away a little bit from the actual intensity of the incident itself and make it look a little bit different from time to time. In that particular case, it looked more severe in the replay than it did in the initial action.
Tritchu coming back, taken away. Trinidad. They play it long, but a misguided or misdirected ball, and Binoli will throw for Klopas at midfield. Into space comes Ramos, former North Carolina State star. Looking, nice idea to find Murray.
Nice idea to try to get inside the defender with the pass. Nice to see how Ramos runs onto a ball with a man breathing down his neck and showing no signs of composure or lack of composure or worry about those situations.
I like the tempo that the U.S. team has got here. I'm comparing it, of course, to the 2 weeks ago against Costa Rica.
Well, they're also letting Trinidad play a bit more. That might be the one thing that is a little disconcerting. They really are here. Here's a great chance for Trinidad and Tobago now.
On the right side, in the scoreless tie, into the air, Balboa wins it.
Oh, and makes a very intelligent heading clearance, too.
Lewis tripped up Klopas.
When the ball comes in like that, right to left, the defender on the far side has got to clear it away from the center. He did that well.
Still scoreless here in Torrance. We'll be right back. Scoreless tie here at Murdoch Stadium on the campus of El Camino College. A World Cup qualifying game between the United States national team and the national team of Trinidad Tobago. John Paul Della Camera along with Seamus Mallon. Taken over now by Trinidad Tobago. Lawrence coming back. Going long for Lewis. Has the speed to track it down. Against Balboa. On the cross, but Binoli is there to make an easy play.
Yeah, and good move by Windishman to go over there to help out, too, and make that cross somewhat predictable, giving the winger little chance to do other than what he did.
John Harkes to midfield. Bumped off the ball. Allen will take it.
They're good, strong tacklers in midfield, these players from Trinidad Tobago, and they're not going to be very successful dribbling through midfield a lot, so unless you have sort of the quick skills of Tab Ramos. But John Harkes can do it, has done it, but not quite as well as Ramos can do it.
Nice move by Clayton Morris. Unofficially, we've got about 23 minutes to go here in the first half. The stadium clock is not operating, so we're keeping time of it ourselves. Coming back, Trinidad in the scoreless tie, left side, into the penalty area, chested down, little holding going on as the shot was taken and smothered by Binoli.
Well, a little holding going on is right, and the referee just warning George Pastore there as he comes over. But this is an experienced international referee who spends a lot of time in the Serie A out there in Italy, and he knows that holding is really a part of the professional game, and there's so much you can allow to happen before you've got to blow it. But the U.S. are making a pretty heavy going of this now in midfield. There's George Pastore again being caught at the sideline. They're having trouble getting some passes together in midfield and posing much of a threat. Trinidad withdraws and covers a lot of the direct alleys to goal.
Ramos to Harkes. Long for Goulet, and it looked like a near mistake there at the back by number 4, Francis.
I think he probably heard his goalkeeper call for that one, and
let's hope so for his sake.
Knowing that there was nobody else there. Oh, there goes the keeper wandering.
Carter almost got caught, and he put that one into the stands to escape some danger. Don't forget, on ESPN, the Indy 500 time trials, day 2 live tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern time. Right side, sent in long, far post. Murray left it for Goulet, and the header was just wide.
Good, nice cross indeed by Stolmeyer that time, because that ball had a nice bend on it. It swerved away from the goal. Wrong-footing defenders are making them turn, which is what you want to do. And it was a good chance for Goulet. Here we see it swerving away from the goal as the defenders have to turn. And Goulet was in a good spot, but his header to the near post not strong, and actually covered there at the near post by Earl Carter, the goalkeeper.
Coming back now for Goulet. Took it away from Brian Williams. Goulet to Murray. Trying to backheel it through, and that's broken up. And Trinidad on the ball. Trying to beat Ramos in the middle. Allen, bad pass.
Yeah, with good pressure by Ramos.
That forced it.
Yep.
All the way back to Earl Carter. Carter sending it long over midfield, well over midfield. He won an alibi. Tritchu won that in the air. Couple of nice headers. Now Harks beats his first man. Harks in for Goulet. Almost got free. It's chipped back, and that could have been an own goal as it was kicked back by Dexter Francis. But the pressure and the threat of Goulet is what forced that.
Well, also the quick play through midfield. The lack of dalliance in midfield between Harks. You see that lovely touch there left by Ramos for Harks, and then this quick ball out of midfield with a nice looping ball over the top, and Dexter Francis lucky to get a touch on that one, not get past his goalkeeper, but over the top. So corner kick for the U.S.
It was Frankie Klopas left footing it down low, and it's cleared out by Faustin. Klopas on that far sideline trying to keep it in play, and it was last touched the other way, so a throw-in for the U.S. national team.
Stolmar again doesn't have much of a run-up. See if he can do a long one here.
It's pretty much against that wall up for Goulet. Off a deflection. Pastor knocked away. Pastor hustling after it. Right along the sideline. Good job. He won it. Trying to get it around Williams. I think Williams' hair got in the way.
Williams stepping in his way, but the referee letting that one go. But nice to see George Pastor now beginning to try and a little bit more one-on-one and having a bit of success.
Harks to Pastor. Murray. Williams, top tackle, and a foul. Williams was on this team in '87. Several of these players are still there from 1987, but they did change coaches, and from what we're told, a little more discipline on this team. They changed formation somewhat, changed the goalkeeper, although they do have two other fine goalkeepers on their squad. But they've played better, even though they've still had their share of losses lately. Stolmeyer lifting it. Onside. Harks had a hard time bringing it down. Right across off a tip too high. Great idea to Goulet, but Harks had a little difficulty with the initial play.
Oh, it was a very good play indeed. It was the kind of thing I was talking about 10 minutes ago or so. That is to expose the quick offside trap attempt that all the American players had come forward and then were able to turn around and go back over the ball.
Still scoreless, but the USA looking stronger as we go. Unofficial time remaining in the first half, just under 18 minutes. And that's probably pretty close to being accurate. No real injury time. I don't feel that Agnola, the referee, is taken into account here. It's been pretty tame, compared to the Costa Rica game anyway, the second game. Pastor got a piece of that, and Williams got the rest. Back for Mike Windishman. Was going to play it back to Benoli, and instead will turn it back upfield. Windishman and Harks play together at Albany in the American Soccer League. A lot of these players play in either the ASL or the Western Soccer League. Ball will be going back the other way. The linesman had the flag up on the near side. Williams will throw it in. Still scoreless. Looking upfield. They'll find Alibi. Back for Williams. Over the head of Pastor and Windishman. Played it up. Less than 17 to go unofficially here in the first half. From Murdoch Stadium. Scoreless tie. Harks played it long. Morris got that one under control. Plays it up, and a good play for Stolmeyer. U.S. with a chance at a scoreless tie outside for Goulet. Williams picking him up. In fact, two players on him. Left there for Pastor. Dangerous situation here for the U.S. Threatening into the air. Klopas didn't win that one, and it's taken back the other way. Good effort, though, by the U.S. on what looked like a great potential situation. And now Lewis comes back the other way. I'm hearing whistles somewhere, but nobody's stopping.
He did blow a whistle for the foul over there by John Harks, but the Trinidad team is getting back well when they give up the ball initially down the sidelines. If the United States team delays any, Trinidad and Tobago is getting very good now in getting players back in numbers, and they're able to out-jump some of the shorter U.S. players at the edge of the box. So that not everybody out there is like Bruce Murray in the air, unfortunately for the U.S. team. So they got to find some other ways to get some penetration in their attack.
Tritchu and Pastor with it. Now for Ramos. Open is Harks, and Ramos found him. John Harks. Long ball for Murray. Over the shoulder of Clayton Morris. And Murray will let it go out wisely for a corner kick.
Not a bad idea again by Harks, trying to expose something of a flat back four by this Trinidad defense. There you see the next big match for the U.S. June 17th in New Britain, Connecticut. We'll be carrying that one. Guatemala against the USA.
Ramos ready to put it in play on the corner kick. There he is. We lost him. All the way across. Tritchie went high into the air, as did Balboa. And now Harks will play it back to Windishman.
And the offside trap being attempted again.
Didn't work. Harks gets free in the penalty area. Played it across. Murray missed it.
Oh my goodness, how did Bruce Murray miss that? That looked easier to score than to miss. Unbelievable. He's holding his head. He can't believe it. What a great run by Harks. A super cross, beats the keeper. An easy touch in here for Murray, and he hammers it past the post. Oh dear. But again, they beat the offside trap, and the cross comes in, and you'll see Bruce Murray with a goal yawning in front of him, stabs at it with the left foot, and holds his head in sheer dismay that he could not put that easy one away. So a great chance for Bruce. Disappointment there. He's worked hard so far. He's done some good things. But he's going to have to think about that one for a while. Or he won't
forget about that one.
Forget about it, right.
Well, that's clearly the best chance for either team to score in this one.
Yep.
You got to think back, Seamus, the games that we've done that the U.S. has won, they've always scored the first goal. And that one could be a very important one here, especially for, a Trinidad team that's not played at all. That might change the way they played if they got on top first. And for the U.S. team, that confidence could roll on. And
the U.S. has been doing some good things lately, getting a bit more possession, playing a bit better, but not getting the success that they should have gotten.
Need to get a little reward for the effort.
That's right.
David Benoli giving it short to Mike Windishman. And then back to the U.S. keeper. He has had every important start for the U.S. team with the exception of game 1 against Costa Rica.
Keep in mind, this is Trinidad and Tobago's first game in the World Cup qualifiers, as you mentioned, so for them to take a point from a draw here would be a good start to their attempts to get to Italy.
Goulet. Back outside. John Harks. Nice fake. Beat Charles on that one. Played in. No one there, though, for the U.S.
Good ball by John Harks, though. Very threatening ball. Good tackle by Ramos.
Pastor tackled off the ball as well by Lanape, but the U.S. will keep possession. Stolmeyer will come over to take the throw-in. 4-time All-Big Ten from Indiana. 2-time All-American. In for Murray. And now the keeper, Earl Carter, calls for that one. Under 13 minutes to play, unofficial time here at Murdoch Stadium on the campus of El Camino College. Stolmeyer straight up. Lawrence missed it. Now Klopas in possession of Harks. Good job to switch it. Left side, it's Pastor against Williams. Murray and Morris. Back outside to Pastor in the scoreless tie. To John Stolmeyer. Another good job to switch it. Klopas had to wait, though, a little bit too long for that one, but a good idea from Stolmeyer. They're using a lot more of the field, aren't they, Seamus, than they did a couple of weeks ago as well?
Yeah, I think here's going to be a warning without the yellow to the defender number 3, Brian Williams, who's been hammering people from behind. He got George Pastor just a minute or so ago. Before that, he got Bruce Murray, and the referee has now spoken to him twice, but has not taken out the yellow.
Ramos coming back, beating 2. Trying to send it across, and it was broken up by Dexter Francis. But the U.S., over the last 5 minutes or so offensively, have looked much better.
Well, they look exciting when they get the skilled players out there, like Murray and particularly Ramos, into positions where they're 1 against 1 with some space behind the man who's trying to stop them.
Stolmeyer in the long throw-in, tricks you up into the air. Once it's played down, Klopas shot Carter. Nice save. Frankie Klopas was there with the left footer.
Well, a good heading combination, too, in there by Murray and by Goulet, setting up the shot, indeed, for Klopas. A little bit similar to the opportunity that won them the game against Costa Rica. Good challenge by Balboa.
Throw in the other way for Brian Williams and Trinidad Tobago. Their coach, Cummings, played in the U.S. in the North American Soccer League with 3 different teams, and at the age of 16 was actually in the Trinidad Tobago national team. So he did have some skill as a player, and he's trying to bring that skill and organization to this club. He replaced Roderick Warner actually 3 days before their second game with the U.S., and they only lost that game 1-0 compared to 4-1 the previous time out.
I think 1-0 on a penalty, if I remember correctly, too. But
I won't challenge your memory. Williams setting it long. Good job for David Benoli with less than 10 minutes to go, stopping that challenge.
Well, and the ball took a long time to get there, which is just what he needed to get out.
Pastor for Murray.
Whoa!
Tackle by Francis. Here's a card. Well, the referee had the card out. He didn't even wait to get up there and take it out. That card came out.
And Bruce Murray, to his credit, immediately running to the far side of the penalty area to get in line. No smart remarks, no attempt to retaliate. Obviously a bad foul there, indeed, by Dexter Francis. And Bruce Murray, becoming the really cool professional now that he is, walks away from that one and sets himself up at the far edge of the goal area for this possible header on the free kick.
Windishman will put it in play. Let's see what the Glendale, New York native does with this. Goes back to Harks. Low shot was just wide as John Harks tried to get the first goal of the game. It's still a scoreless tie, but right now the U.S. seems to have the edge in play. Welcome back to today's World Cup qualifying game here at Murdoch Stadium. Campus of El Camino College, a scoreless tie. U.S. and Trinidad. Trinidad breaking free. Alabi is blocked by David Benoli. Corner kick for Trinidad, but Benoli quick off his line.
Well, Benoli playing almost a kind of a second sweeper there because Windishman could not possibly reach that one. But all the damage coming because of the overlapping Marvin Faustin, number 6, who made a great run forward. We haven't seen much of that from Trinidad and Tobago of late, but when they do it, they look very threatening indeed.
So the last 4 or 5 minutes, play was really down at the other end of the field, so that's a good play for Trinidad. Keep the U.S. honest. Murray got a piece of that one and then went down, but control maintained by Trinidad Tobago. All the way across. Some aggressive play by Klopas to win it. Clayton Morris is there. Sending it for Alabi. Critchu on him.
Windishman to help.
Alabi on the cross. Benoli calling and comes down with it.
Once again, the second defender, Mike Windishman, going out there to back up his first defender, Critchu. And when there are two of them out there, you can really force a winger into going in a direction he might not prefer and making the cross a little bit less threatening than otherwise might be the case. The foul there given against Trinidad and Tobago.
Benoli not too happy with that last distribution. Looked like he may have hurt himself on that kick, but I think it was just more frustration, although he is leaning down a bit. May have slightly pulled something. Well, appears to be shaking it off.
About 6 minutes left in the half, JP. Time for a goal for either team. This is always a wonderful thing to try to pull off if you can do it. A goal just before the half really gives a lift to the spirits.
Ramos puts it in play in the penalty area. Murray with a quick header. So much better play offensively from the U.S. team as a team compared to a couple of weeks ago. And if practice makes perfect, then I think that the U.S. team had some very good practices this week here in California. Played up right side. Balboa, a little too aggressive there on the foul. Trinidad will take the ball. Sent long. And broken up by Windishman to Pastor.
Trinidad pinching the U.S. in the corner, trying to win that one early. We haven't seen them do that an awful lot of late, and therefore drawing the long hoped-for clearance, which inevitably goes to the opposition, as it did in that case.
Trinidad with it. Dexter Francis. U.S. nothing. Trinidad Tobago nothing. Time running out. The first half of play. Should be under 5 minutes unofficially. Headed straight up. Alabi, Critchu, beating him on the tackle. Going to foul anyway?
No, he gets a throw in because he played the ball off the Trinidad player who was Alabi, yes. And he touched it out. It went off Alabi's foot. And so the throw into the U.S.
Balboa from Benoli. Still scoreless, but the U.S. has had some good opportunities. Their best one, clearly, was Murray from Harks, and he missed really what had to be called, even for Bruce Murray. He'd call that one an open net and a great chance to score.
Oh, It's unthinkable that he would miss a chance like that, but he did, and so he's got to put it behind him. But Trinidad would like to do something dangerous here, but that's an easy one for Benoli.
You know how we say sometimes it's not as easy as it looked. In that case, it might have been as easy, if not easier, than it did look.
Well, here's a chance for Bruce Murray if they can get him free on the left.
Murray knocked away, but he may keep it in. A long way to go for Murray. Oh, great hustle up for Bruce Murray. Bruce Murray did a great job. It appeared as if he had no chance for that ball, but he stayed with it. I'll tell you, he's been a very impressive part, though, even though he missed that chance earlier, of the U.S. offense in the opening half of play.
Well, Bruce is hurt a little bit. He went crashing into that advertising down there at the far end, or the, and I think has hurt his leg, or his maybe his knee. I'm not sure. He's limping around, and certainly don't need that problem. Bruce has been so dangerous on the ball. Has, of course, the one great chance to score, but has done some other very good things as well. But I think he'll shake it off.
Less than 4 minutes to go. First half, that's unofficial time here at Murdoch Stadium.
Ooh, bad giveaway there.
But Goulet will say thank you, and the U.S. team marches back with Ramos. Astor.
Lots of Trinidad players back, though. About 8 of them back.
John Hartz lost his footing as he tried to make a switch. Now to Stolmeyer. Pushing outside for Klopas. Frankie Klopas has the ability to beat players. That time, lost it.
Yeah.
That's some aggressive play by Trinidad and Tobago, and the crowd still buzzing and booing on that.
Well, very good defensive play by that side of the Trinidad Tobago defense, as Klopas tried to put a good move on. Did reasonably well, but then just simply ran over the back of his defender and fell down, hoping to get something. But you're not going to fool Luigi Agnolin that easily. The U.S. feel they should have had a couple of penalties already, but not so.
On the miss there, that time by Stolmeyer, Trinidad Tobago comes back. Lifted into the penalty area. Balboa is there. Off Leonson Lewis. Should be a goal kick coming up for Benoli.
Yep.
U.S. team will put it in play.
Got about 2 minutes or so to go on my clock. The stadium clock not working.
John Hartz coming back in the scoreless tie for Ramos. U.S. team would love to get that first goal of the game before the half. Give them a little lift going into the dressing room and some kind of reward for their effort here. Stolmeyer for Goulet. To Klopas. Sent back. Trichu had to wait a little bit for it. Now to Ramos. Trinidad Tobago trying to bring as many players back as they can, although they still have 2 up by midfield. Into the box for Murray, and Carter will haul it down. Almost came out too far.
That's right. It almost got fooled by it. That ball by Trichu did not have the swerve on it that you sometimes see. It was more of a dead ball, a knuckleball sort of thing, and at the last second it almost fooled Carter, but he has a very good jump and stretch and pull it down.
Latipi on that sideline, tackled away by John Stolmeyer. Trinidad Tobago will put it back into play. Scoreless tie. Time running down in the opening half of play. Played back out to Dexter Francis. Goulet got a piece of it, but not enough. Into the penalty area. The header to the far post is wide of Benoli. And who's that? Trichu appears to be hurt in the collision with Lewis. It'll take more than a collision to knock Trichu out. Very tough player, but he may have gotten hit in the nose pretty hard.
Well, he's really got his hands full over there with Maurice Alabi, who's very good in the air. That may make Bob Ganser think about John Doyle, perhaps, for the second half if Trichu is hurt. Trichu's done some good things in the air, but he's also struggled a bit against Alabi, who's very tall and good. Look at Alabi get up here and get his elbow in Trichu's face, and then head this one with Benoli beaten here by this good header to the far post, but it just drifts wide. So a good last-minute opportunity there for Trinidad Tobago in this first half.
Well, after some nice work by Rich Reel, Steve Trichu is okay to play, but he'll probably welcome that halftime break so he can take better care of that nose injury. A cut looked like on the bridge of his nose. Now Windishman should have less than a minute to go here. Referee, of course, keeping time, maybe much less than that. He just glanced at his watch.
Yeah.
Benoli.
He's waiting to blow this halftime whistle, but
Murray. Some excellent jersey pulling. And Murray was really detained.
Floyd Lawrence really got Murray down there, and the referee is not going to blow halftime on that, I think.
Well, Ramos, temper's getting a little heated right there. Ramos knows that time is running out, wants to put that ball in play and give the U.S. team a chance to score before the half. John Harkes and John Stollmeyer. And I don't think they're speaking in Luigi Agnoli's native tongue.
Yeah,
he's taking control.
Well, he's absolutely right. Referee is absolutely right.
He's done a good job.
He's an excellent referee, but I think he did miss a handball. But
his angle may not have been as good on it.
No.
Moving the wall back is Agnolin, well-respected official from Italy.
Let's see if anybody can bend this around here.
Stollmeyer and Harkes beside the ball, behind it a bit. John Stollmeyer runs by for Harkes. Right footer blocked by the wall. Harkes after it. Collision there.
Halftime.
Let's see, the linesman coming out. It should be. Stollmeyer and Clayton Morris having a friendly discussion, but that's it for the first half of play. And a pretty exciting first half of play. Both teams having some chances to score, but overall I thought the U.S. team had the edge offensively. A little bit of tough luck. They had what they thought should have been a penalty kick called on a handball. That didn't happen, and then Murray missed a great open chance to score. But the U.S. team has the support of the crowd. They like what they saw in the opening half of play. And as the teams head to the locker rooms at halftime, we are tied 0-0. Welcome back, everyone, to Torrance, California. John Paul Della Camera and Seamus Mallon. One change for the U.S. national team. Peter Vermees is in the lineup, replacing George Pastore. Vermees, the United States Soccer Federation Player of the Year this past season.
Well, that's an interesting move indeed. Vermees came in as a substitute against Costa Rica and struggled to find his form in that game. But obviously they hope that he can do a little bit more in the attacking sense that George Pastore was not able to do.
Latifi playing it back. Latifi chasing it down. Trinidad, Tobago in red, if you're just joining us, or in the red and black. USA with the ball in white. Stollmeyer broken up. Scoreless tie. Second half just underway, and well offside is the speedy Leonson Lewis.
George Pastore and Stollmeyer not combining. I'm sorry, not Pastore. I mean to say Tabremos and Stollmeyer not combining very well. In midfield there is tried to finesse it a bit much in congestion.
Balboa back to David Benoli. Crossing outside to Murray. Murray got banged up a little bit in that first half. Tritju suffered a pretty nasty cut. Best way to describe it from up here on the bridge of his nose, but they're both out there at the start of the half. Second half of play. It's play back to Carter. Did he keep it in? No. Good job by the referee. He really had to watch that because that did not appear to be too far over that final line.
Well, some more adventuresome play indeed by the number 3 player, Brian Williams. He gave a very dicey back pass here under some pressure, and the late reaction by Earl Carter, a bit surprised by this, but you can see him pull it back from the line there. A nice low-angle camera there. Clears that one up nicely.
Tabremos has to clear some of the field personnel away to take this corner kick. Played in on Copas. Vermees busted up there by Trinidad Tobago, but a great chance for the U.S. They're still coming with Stollmeyer. Tackled away. Referee's got the foul anyway. So John Stollmeyer will be putting it back in play. Tough luck for the U.S. with Copas and Vermees in the box, and both of them in a good position to score.
Well, that near post low corner is doing more damage, I think, than the high one.
Stollmeyer, far post, up into the air off one deflection. Coming back out, Ramos. Nice job for Tritju. Chest and shot. Tritju!
Well, they beat the offside trap, that man again, and the linesman was right in line. I took a quick look at him. He waved it on. Tritju getting in behind the defense. A lobbed ball over. He ran in under the lobbed ball, took it beautifully on his chest and whacked it on. Look at his first-time touch. I think it was Ramos. But there it is. Look at this chest trap. Nice. And the quick volley smack into the back of the net. Beautiful goal by the U.S. beating the offside trap, which really is a dangerous thing to do. And Trinidad and Tobago is burned by there, as you see in the replay, as they look around, futilely hoping for the flag to go up on the right side, but it did not happen. And the U.S. jumps out to 1-0 lead just after the second half has begun.
Seamus, he took that ball like an all-star striker, not like a defender whose job mainly is to prevent goals. And I guarantee you the pain that he felt before on the bridge of his nose is completely forgotten.
Well, the early ball, as I say, I think it was Ramos who hit the early ball over the top.
No question.
If he traps that ball and takes a moment, then the offside trap would have killed him. But the early ball and the lob, the time it took to get there was what did the trick. And, of course, Tritchu's finish was immaculate.
Unofficial time, 49 minutes. And it should be Tritchu with Ramos getting a well-deserved assist. Let's see what that does now to the tempo of this one. Parks to Ramos. Well, with all that work in the first half, they could not score a goal, but they come out early, the U.S. does, and they get that lead 1-0 as Lewis comes back.
Parks with another great tackle.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, after the U.S. scored a goal, they let Costa Rica come back. They were very vulnerable. I'm sure they worked on that part of their game as well. Klopas from long range, but Carter is there.
Long range shot by Klopas, but everybody else marked up front. A retreating defense. Possibility of screening their own goal. He decides to let it go, but not enough power or accuracy on that one.
Tritchu heads it back to David Vinoli. U.S. with a 1-0 lead here in the second half of play.
Well, interesting, you know, defenders love to give attackers a bit of the business when they're not scoring. You know, they love to say, well, listen, I'll go forward and do something, and Tritchu doing exactly that. Got Ramos with a wonderful pass over the top. The first-time volley. It took time to get there, which is what created the chance as the defense pulled up in an ill-timed rush to make things go offside. And the goal for the U.S. as a result of Tritchu's final finish.
The 22-year-old Ramos, though, becoming a fixture and a mainstay in the midfield and really becoming the general out there for them, but he seems to be playing beyond his experience.
Yeah, he's a real junior general indeed, but doing very well for all that.
Klopas and the double team beat it with a quick pass. Bob Gasser was saying yesterday against Costa Rica in situations where maybe 3 passes would have broke it, they could only complete 2, and they were really going to work hard on their passing game. Goulet reverses well to Murray. And that gets him out of some danger, but a pass back was not well timed by Murray, but Harks took it away. Unlucky there for the U.S. Tritchu keeps it going.
And Trinidad and Tobago in a little disarray now, beginning to take some chances on tackles that could hurt him.
Klopas beating a couple. A left footer, though. Not enough on it. Showing some imagination and some confidence as well.
Yeah, I'm getting inside his man who hit him pretty hard, Marvin Faustin, taking him down. But the game has now reached a bit more of an intensity in its feeling than was the case early on.
And so far, we were talking before about how improved the U.S. was over a couple of weeks ago. We're talking mostly about their offensive play, but again, I go back to 2 weeks ago when Costa Rica kept threatening to score right after the U.S. had scored a goal, and it was all Costa Rica. But here, they appear to have settled down with a little more composure. Or am I speaking too soon here?
Well, they gave away a foul there. I think Tritchu pushing his man, who has been dogging him all game, Maurice Alabi. And the referee analyzed them both, spotting that. So time to keep concentration here. With 38 minutes to go.
Allen and Latifi, one of these two players, will be putting it in play on the free kick. An indirect kick. It's a 5-player wall for the U.S. national team. Allen off his left foot, way up and high over David Vinoli on a Tritchu goal. The U.S. leads 1-0.
Budweiser and Bud Light are joining USA Today so you can vote for the All-Stars. Pick up an official All-Star fan ballot free wherever you buy Bud and Bud Light. Then enter the All-Star Pick-a-Pair Trivia Sweepstakes. Answers appear every day in USA Today, your #1 source for sports coverage. So look for this display and vote.
In this World Cup qualifying game, the U.S. leads Trinidad and Tobago 1-0, trying to make it 7 straight wins over Trinidad and Tobago in a series that dates back to 1982. On the cross, Vinoli lets it go with Murray there.
Good play by Bruce Murray. Composed, doesn't panic, man on his back. Shields the ball, lets it run out of play.
If you're in the Connecticut area, Connecticut, New York area, you may want to purchase tickets for this one. Guatemala versus the United States, and tickets going well there. There's a number to call in the New Britain area. Guatemala and the United States, June the 17th. We hope to see you there for that one.
That's right. It was originally June 10th, this game, but it has been moved to June 17th quite a few weeks ago, so...
Don't show up in the tent,
That's right. Do not appear then. You might see a high school graduation or something like that, but you will not see a World Cup qualifier. Foul ball with it. A 1-0 lead for the U.S. I know we're in Los Angeles, and this is where Pat Riley made his guarantee that the Lakers would win the championship last year, and they did. But interesting, Seamus, in today's paper, the manager, not the coach, but the team manager for Trinidad Tobago predicted and guaranteed a Trinidad Tobago victory. Yeah, it's an interesting quote. He said, officially, was his words. Officially, I want to guarantee it. So I guess if they lose, it's just an unofficial loss.
That's right. And he'll blame it on Pat Riley. Ball played back to Brian Williams. This one's still not over yet. But right now, that prediction isn't looking as good. Vanola coming out near the edge of the box. I mentioned earlier, Dr. Joe Macknick, the assistant coach, has really worked well with these two goalkeepers, Vanola and Dubak, and the other ones as well. U.S. 5 deep in terms of goalkeepers. Vermes after it. Last touch by Clayton Morris, and I think Goulet, did he get clipped right after he let go of the ball? Yeah, well, a little discussion going on between him and Dexter Francis, but the U.S. could sure use another goal here. I have a lot of respect for the ability of Trinidad and Tobago to do some things here, so a 1-goal lead is not a source of comfort. 35 minutes to go. Second half of play. Tritchu won that ball into the air. But now Trinidad will take it. Good read from Stolmeyer. Quickly, he put it back for Vermes. Mistimed the first touch. That could have been a great attempt. But he'll get it back. Peter Vermes, the former Rutgers star, all the way across. Almost given right back up to Klopas. That would have been a nice gift for Klopas. Back in the left wing side. All the way back. Alabi against Tritchu and a double team. Winterschman, good job to support and knock it out. Again, as I said a number of times before, Mike Winterschman providing the necessary cover that a sweeper must give to his wing fullbacks, especially against Alabi, who's so swift. Well, here's a match to watch. Next Saturday, Liverpool against Everton, an all Merseyside final in the FA Cup, and an emotional one indeed, of course, after the Liverpool disaster at Hillsborough. Quick shot for Francis Lewis with a chance, but Vanoli there, and Winterschman took a nasty kick in the process, but may have helped to save a goal, because Lewis did not get a good shot away. Winterschman down, writhing in pain, and now limping back up on his feet. Is Winterschman, played to the outside of the penalty area, lifted by Lanape, bicycle kick went wide, but what a great attempt by Trinidad Tobago. That would have been a spectacular goal. You can put that one on the highlight film. We'll look again. Lovely play indeed by Trinidad Tobago. Terrific flying backwards kick there. Great scissors attempt wide by about 5 feet. That was Leonson Lewis. We'll be back. U.S. leads 1-0. Welcome back, everyone. Trainer for the U.S. national team, Rich Reel, just getting a look at Mike Winterschman. Said that would be a tough loss. There's Steve Tritchu, who has the only goal of the game thus far. It came in the 48th minute on a beautiful feed from Tab Ramos. Tritchu, I'm sure his parents saw that goal. They followed to as many games as they can. And last time I saw his dad and mom, they told me we'll see you in L.A. Didn't see him before the game, but I'm sure they're here. Brian Williams. 1-0, U.S. on top. Back to Clayton Morris. Played up for Hudson Charles. Goulet and Hart pressure and strip the ball. Hart as Trinidad Tobago takes it back. Hart again doing well in midfield. There's a good ball from Hart. Oh, Goulet really should have had that one. Tough one over the shoulder. 1 goal of the game, and here it is again. Ramos with that wonderful touch over the top. In the back door goes Tritchu, traps him in his chest, and then just smacks a volley into the roof of the net. A really beautiful goal. Trinidad Tobago defenders look hopefully to the linesman. They see nothing. No fluttering flags on that side. So the U.S. with the goal, but it's a tentative, edgy lead. It's not a comfortable lead by any means, as Trinidad Tobago looks skillful and dangerous around the penalty area, and the U.S. is going to have to be very composed, concentrate hard, and get extra players back to help out when needed. Here's Lewis who tried that bicycle kick, but only great play. It looked like he was beaten by Alabama. Alabi, and a whistle sounded.
That ball's out of bounds.
I'll tell you what,
Corner kick.
he looked beaten on that first one, and it was a late reaction that got the ball.
He was indeed beaten. Good cross coming in. Nice bit of bend on it. Swerves away from the goal. Right on the defender who touched it. And look at the foot save there by Vanoli as he comes out and commits himself. And Trichu racing back desperately to cover the goal behind Vanoli as he did so faithfully against Costa Rica.
That's a great save by the Manhattan Beach, California native. Brian Williams broken up. Not buying the fake as Vermes. Up for Goulet. Goulet trying to get it around Dexter Francis, but it's played back to the keeper.
Vermes unhappy with himself about the quality of that ball he played forward. A good quality ball would have given a great chance to his teammate Brent Goulet.
Did a nice job to win it initially, but then couldn't set it up. He and Goulet have played several games now together as starters, although the last couple of games it has been Klopas starting in place of Vermes. Here in this game, Vermes came on as a substitute for George Pastor. Games going according to FIFA rules. You're allowed 2 substitutes, and the U.S. has already used 1. No changes for Trinidad. The U.S. has not lost, we mentioned earlier, in 6 games. The 5 games, Seamus, have been very close, just to 1 goal.
That's right. Jimmy Gabarra seems to be warming up down there. But I don't know if he was just stretching on the bench. Williams up again. A good clearing header to the ever-dangerous Alabi.
Alabi with that good speed.
The penalty area, dangerous here.
He's got Latifi open at the edge of the box. Far post. And he didn't do as well with that one as he would have liked. Klopas will let it go, and there'll be a throw-in coming up, but Latifi was all alone at the edge of the box.
He is wonderful to watch. He's got great speed. He's terrific in the air. He's really stretching the U.S. defense to doing everything they can to stay with him, but they're really struggling.
You were mentioning before Gabarra. I'm looking down at the sideline, and we can't see too much of the sideline here. That field pretty much takes up everything down there, but you can see Gabarra doing some stretching down below.
Well, here's Alabi getting away from John Stolmar, turning on the jets, looking up. One more touch into the penalty area now where everybody has to be careful. And thinking a little bit, gets away from both of them, both Trichu and Stolmar. It's a good cross in, but nobody there. And Alabi got to be unhappy about that because he did so much work for nothing to come of it. As we look down for the substitution, Jimmy Gabarra
actually
coming in for Ramos.
I believe, yep. Jamerson.
Yeah.
Harry Jamerson will come in.
Well, Ramos coming off. That's an interesting
Gabarra.
substitution. Tad limping a little bit. Of course, he was injured in practice this week, so that could be the problem. Substitutions for Trinidad and Tobago, as you mentioned, number 17, Harry Jamerson.
Got less than 27 minutes to go in the second half of play. And Bob Gamsa got a very good first half and more from Tab Ramos, prompted by a tendon problem, but you wouldn't know it by the way he was playing, but we don't know how much pain he might be in. Or if somewhere during the game he took a hard knock that maybe we didn't see. Jamerson plays it back. Clayton Morris into the box. It looked like it was going to be a great trap for Alabi, but then he didn't do as well with it as the initial contact. I thought he was going to be in complete control when he brought that one down. U.S. team will be putting it in play. They lead it by the score of 1-0. So with that Gabarra switch for Ramos, no more substitutes for the U.S. team. If you're a newcomer to World Cup qualifying play, remember, no overtime, no penalty kicks. They'll play just the 90 minutes. If it were tied at the end of it, each team would get a point. 2 points for the winning team, none, obviously, for the loser. 2 teams with the most points go to Italy in 1990 for the World Cup. Murray beaten and then taken down by Williams, and the referee, Agnolan, comes over. Let's see if he says anything to Williams. Apparently not, just the foul. Williams, I thought, got ball first.
Yeah, and I must say, an impressive run by Bruce Murray, getting those long strides of his, picking up the pace, putting pressure on Williams. Very easy to spot. You see how much time there's left there. 26:45 to go. Lots of time indeed.
Jimmy Gabarra ready to put it in play. Far post, nobody there except for Alabi.
Yeah.
And he'll clear it out.
Strange ball by Jimmy Gabarra. And the new player on the team may not be quite into it yet, but obviously they misread. He misread what the intent was there, and the players runs in the penalty area. Comes Hart. Gives it away.
He was looking for Murray. Now it's Alabi. Broken up. John Hart never stops working. Beat the newcomer Jamerson. And now cleared out at the edge of the penalty area. Trinidad and Tobago would let it be to Hudson Charles. Less than 25 minutes to go unofficially. Second half of play, 1-0 U.S. into space for Lewis. He and Balboa collide. Good challenge, actually, for each. Both players going for the ball, no foul.
Well, quite a good bit of variety in the Trinidad-Tobago attack. They're willing to try their luck down the middle. They brought in this player as a substitute. Number 17, Kerry Jamerson, for Hudson Charles. I think he was the one who went out.
Charles still in there?
Oh, is he? Excuse me. Yes, you're right. But he certainly has added a little bit of style and panache to the midfield.
Williams coming back. I think he may have come in for Allen. I don't see Allen out there. Vermes. And now it's Clayton Morris. Clayton Morris breaking it up. He's their team captain now, Windishman. Oh, the captains match up well there. Huh? No handball?
No.
Let it go.
Let it go.
On the left side for Leonson Lewis. Good cut to the middle. Draws Klopas and Harks. Klopas stays with him and wins the bat for Murray. Good job to the outside. Beating the pressure, but he wanted Goulet, and Goulet turned inside as the ball went outside. So the U.S. national team on a Trichu goal still lead 1-0 in the second half. Back to World Cup qualifying play here on ESPN. Crowd watching a 1-0 U.S. lead here at Murdoch Stadium, the campus of El Camino College. Left side, Guevara played indoors for the Los Angeles Lasers of the MISL. To the outside. He's also playing outdoors with the LA Heat of the Western League, and this one a bit too far for Peter Vermes.
Guevara and Vermes, the two substitutes, coming in, trying to get into the rhythm of things. It's not easy when you're a sub to come in and really find your pace. Everybody else seems to know so much more about what they're about, and you've got to catch the flow, and the touches just aren't there for a while. It's not easy to do. And here is the dangerous Alibi again, but he can't quite catch up with this one.
He ran out of room there on the near sideline.
Boy, I'll tell you, Steve Tritchu, when he gets through with this 90 minutes, is going to be one tired hombre from the back four, because he has been run all over this park by his man, Maurice Alibi.
This field is, I guess, 110 by 70, but I'll tell you what, they used all of it.
Yeah.
And I think they had it marked a little bit short in terms of width the other night when we were here for a Chiquita clinic, and they were looking at it, and they said they were going to remark it, and they appear to have done that, stretching those sidelines out. They were about 4 yards short, as I recall. Goulet. Well, there's the star striker coming back to help out defensively. Now to Harks. Trying to get around his man, and he too runs out of room, but it was last touched apparently by Trinidad and Tobago.
But John Harks, I tell you, he's been magnificent in midfield. There he saw nothing up front, and rather than just whack it to nobody, he decided to try to take a player on, force the throw in, and be sure not to give it away, because the U.S. has got to try to put some possession together here. They can't just keep giving the ball away.
Klopas was broken up. Now for Alibi. He and Tritchu collide going for the ball. And back for Windishman. Now to Balboa. In his space, Harks was free. Trying to lead Vermes. Dexter Francis cutting off Peter Vermes. And Vermes pushing and trying to get back at that ball. Carter on the lob. Right side for Williams. Williams pushing it by Goulet. Good run. Hudson Charles. Stopping against Windishman, who almost got it with a toe poke. Back out to Jamerson. Off the head of Stolmeyer, and Alibi pushing Tritchu.
Yeah, not much doubt about that. Oh, Tritchu in a good position to get under that one and knock it back to his keeper out of the penalty area and was pushed away. Well, this is who we have in this group. Costa Rica, Guatemala, the U.S., of course, El Salvador, Trinidad and Tobago. And Costa Rica played 4 games already. And they've won a couple and lost a couple, and El Salvador has yet to play.
But Costa Rica has 4 points. If the U.S. wins this, they too would have 4. And again, the 2 teams with the most points will advance to Italy in the World Cup in 1990. The U.S. has not been in a World Cup final since 1950, so it's been a long drought, but this is the year that most experts feel that the job can be done. Although the teams in CONCACAF are pretty much equal if you talk to the other coaches that have teams entered in this play.
Look at that great ball by Hart. Oh, my goodness. Frank Klopas' touch deserts him at a key moment. And there's been a lot of that sort of thing, JP, in the last few minutes. Midfielders working very hard, playing the ball nicely up to the strikers, and the strikers just simply not showing the finesse that they really can do and can show, but the touch just failing them from time to time.
They're taking out Alabi.
My goodness. Well,
Marlon Morris will replace him.
Let's have some depth, because that man was very dangerous. Maurice Alabi is very dangerous indeed. So we'll see what happens as far as Tritchu is concerned.
You think Steve Tritchu may have been applauding that substitution? Or maybe not. I mean, if Morris does have the jets and starts working it on the ground, Tritchu could be in for a different type of variety.
Yeah.
Played up now to Goulet, and a quick touch for Harks. Vermees is just quick step corner. Peter Vermees has had only one good touch to the ball, but he almost made it count for a 2-0 U.S. lead.
Wow, great combination play by the U.S. That's what I was talking about lacking a few minutes ago, and now they got it working nicely.
Stolmeyer playing it in. Murray just missed on the header. Goulet, edge of the penalty area, back inside, off the left footer, missing in the air was Faustin, and now Klopas was bumped along that sideline. They're going to give the ball to the U.S. Frankie Klopas will leave it for Stolmeyer. Klopas wasn't even going to play in this game, he thought, because his team in Greece, 80K, had one game remaining, and they were looking for a championship, but they clinched it with a game to go, so Klopas was allowed to come back here for this one. Murray broke it up. Stolmeyer right across. Ooh, ball appeared to have eyes on it. It almost found the far post.
I think Vermees may have gotten a touch on that one, too, but we're going to take a look at an earlier attempt here. Look at this good ball by Goulet. It goes out fast and comes back in from Harks. And then the quick early shot by Vermees as he hits it nicely towards that post, but smothered by Carter.
U.S. still with a 1-0 lead here in Torrance, California.
United Airlines, from the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
The embarrassing miscue, the performances at peak, the unusual antics, the plays of the week. Each Sunday night at 11 Eastern on ESPN Sports Center.
Back live here in Torrance, California. John Paul Della Camera with Seamus Mallon. U.S. team leads at 1-0 on a Tritchu goal at the 48-minute mark. The assist going to Tab Ramos, and what a pretty goal it was. You'll see it, I'm sure, on several highlight packages in local sportscasts across the country. That was a great goal. Ball played up now to Vermees.
Yeah, but again, U.S. just giving the ball away, which you can't do.
There's Morris. Tritchu hanging tough, but Morris gets it back. Trinidad Tobago in possession of the ball. Outside the penalty arc. Hudson Charles finding Morris. Played out. Jamerson, a blast. And that sends a U.S. player down. Is that Harks? Looked like he took it right in the face. It's John Harks. That ball was traveling with great velocity. Harks just now getting to his feet. On the cross for Leonson Lewis. Mistiming that one. Off his left foot. And Klopas will pick it up. To Vermees. Trying to backheel it back, and he was taken down. Well, watch Johnny Harks.
Let's see this shot coming in. Nice fake indeed, and then the follow-through on the shot that comes up right here. There's the lay back, and here's the shot coming in. Smack right into the face of John Harks. But I tell you, if there's a tougher guy on this team for the United States than John, I don't know who he is.
Vermees is up limping. U.S., remember, have used both of their subs. That's the second straight game. And we don't keep trivial stats like that. Remember, Klopas got whacked hard in the face in St. Louis a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
El Camino College is where we're coming to you from. This is Murdoch Stadium, named after the late Forrest Murdoch, who was the first president of El Camino College. Played over to Guevara on the left side. Guevara originally from Mystic, Connecticut. Now to Winderschmidt. Harks lost it to Latifi. Marlon Morris, less than 16 in this game, unofficial time.
Well,
Trinidad will get the ball.
Harks made up for it by putting the challenge in and appearing to win it again, but referee felt he fouled. Coming in from the back to make that tackle. Trinidad again pushing lots of people forward, hoping to get something, and a lot of the shots have been cannoning around. Of course, that's just the kind of thing that can create havoc in a defense.
Williams into the box. Williams the head too high. That one looked good when Morris was airborne.
My goodness, who lost him? Everybody looking around at each other in the back of the U.S. defense saying, who missed this man? He is the substitute. You see the ball coming in. Harks can't get to it. He lets it go. And he's all alone in front, but does not convert the opportunity. Marlon Morris.
U.S. team dodges the bullet there. That pass beat 3 U.S. defenders. And as you said, clearly unmarked was Morris. 15 minutes to play unofficially. Second half, this is Gabara. Beat Williams with a pass, and Burmese brought it back to the middle. And now there's a nice job to Gabara. So it turns out well for the U.S. Knocked out a play and then back onto the field. But how about that recovery by Burmese? It looked like they may have blown an opportunity, and then he found Jim Gabara on that left side. Throw into Burmese. On the cross, Murray was going up, but it's broken up. Missed kicking his Harks. Back out to Stonemeyer. Wants Goulet, that's broken up. Harks settles on the right foot, trying to play it back in. He wanted Murray. Williams is there. U.S. still on top, 1-0. Leading Trinidad Tobago. Williams will toss it in. The only goal of the game, Steve Tritchard from Tab Ramos at the 48-minute mark. Don't forget, the U.S. team back in action in New Britain, Connecticut at Willowbrook Park, June the 17th. The fans from New England will be out there, as well as the New York area. They're playing a very good Guatemala team.
It's a handball, but they did not take it from the correct place, so it's got to be retaken.
Clayton Morris will get it back from Jamerson. Stonemeyer intercepts with a header, but the U.S. will lose possession. Morris all the way back. There's Morris, Marlon Morris.
And Tritchard again.
Knocked away. Tritchard's had a lot to do today, not just offensively. He's got the goal, that's the only goal, but defensively, a lot of challenges with Allaby, who has since gone off for Morris.
Well, and of course, you may say he was glad to see Allaby go, but a fresh player eager to prove something is also a threat.
Especially with the different style play that Morris appears to be. Lanape. Gabara knocked it away. Unofficial time, we've got about 13 minutes to play in the second half. U.S. leads it 1-0. Into space for Goulet. Has Francis to beat, and now 4 players from Trinidad Tobago come back to help on the back heel to Gabara. Knocked away, or was it last up Gabara? It's going to be a goal kick coming up. U.S. national team hanging on to that 1-0 lead, less than 13 to go. More World Cup qualifying action coming your way from Murdoch Stadium in Torrance, California. John Paul Della Camera with Seamus Mallon. U.S. leads 1-0, but dodging several bullets here over the last 5 minutes or so. Parks all the way back. You had described earlier a 1-0 lead as a tenuous lead, and truer words may never be spoken.
It's very much so, because Trinidad and Tobago really have the skill to do some things, and the U.S. team is not being able to kill the game off at the 1-0 level, although I might say they're doing a lot better at it than they were against Costa Rica when they scored their goal in the 72nd minute.
Good point. Right side it goes for Lanape to Morris. I don't know where Trinidad and Tobago are getting their legs from. They've got 2 substitutes that can fly, but earlier it was Hudson Charles that made a great run from the back when we were away at a commercial break. Goulet, great job receiving the Gabara pass up the middle. Outside the penalty area, but didn't get it up on his shot, and probably would like another crack at that one.
A very, very wasted opportunity there by the United States.
Did the linesman signal a corner?
I don't think so.
Goulet was pointing over that way. I can't figure anything else out.
They didn't deserve a corner.
No.
They wasted a great chance there.
Absolutely not.
Murray was running into space. Goulet held and tried to go wide left and get the shot off, but what we really needed was to just play it quickly to Bruce and let him do something. Bruce Murray not in the game much of late. The ball nothing getting up to him.
We're looking for Burmese, and it's played all the way back to Earl Carter.
But Trinidad Tobago not panicking, not making too many mistakes, trying for possession, to get players wide or even central when they can get the right ones there.
Got about 10 minutes to play in the second half. U.S. team leading it 1-0. A far improved performance as Hart is down in pain. Far improved, I was going to say, over the last couple of weeks.
You know, we were talking about who our player of the game might be. John Hart has had a magnificent game in midfield. He's just had so much energy. He's worked hard. He's tackled hard. He's done some nice dribbles as well. And Pitchu, of course, has been awfully strong in the back and got the goals. So we'll have our work cut out for us in that decision if the U.S. holds on here.
Goulet is broken up on that far side. Hart is still in some pain. They've used their 2 subs. And right now, John Hart's limping up. He's had some injury problems over the last couple of years, but has been able to rebound from those and be a very consistent player for this team.
Trinidad and Tobago now sort of overdoing it a little bit. Keeping possession, though, but almost giving it away. And the U.S. hoping to pinch one early and get a second goal, because the second goal was never more needed as Trinidad comes forward with everybody.
Brian Williams, number 3, and the red and black for Trinidad and Tobago. In the penalty area, but Pitchu had no challenge on that. To Brent Goulet, 108 goals, the all-time leading scorer in collegiate play. Good play for Seattle in the Western League. Dangerous, huh?
Giving a ball like that, a slow, awkward ball back to a teammate with players around him. Lucky to escape that one.
David Vinoli wants to kill a little bit of time here. Sends it long.
I reckon about 8 minutes to go.
Vermes, nice job by Francis to sweep it away. Dexter Francis up down to Williams. And now it's Clayton Morris. In his space, but Klopas is there. Try to put it forward for Murray. And now Morris, then Guevara. And we've got a foul on Morris. Morris.
Referee very close to that one, seeing that the player went over the top.
There's some legs flying there.
I don't see why this free kick has to be taken quite so quickly by the U.S. when they're trying to hang on to a 1-goal lead. What's the hurry?
Leonson Lewis against Balboa and Klopas. Nice move by Lewis. Blocked by Windishman. And then Guevara, referee, couldn't help but get himself into the way of that. And we've got a Klopas foul. That might have been a tough break for the U.S. because if Agnolan could have gotten out of the way, he did try. They might have had the ball. Here's Latifi. A little too fancy there, it looked like, in the bottom.
Yes, but it's nice to see, though. They're trying to do some nice combination stuff at the top. And Guevara's got to win this one. Almost wins the whole thing.
Right side. Now Guevara takes his man down. And a foul on Guevara. I said it was too fancy. If it worked, it would have been a great play.
6 minutes to go. Trinidad looking very dangerous, but not with shots like that.
Now, Hudson Charles wasted that one. And the U.S. team will have a goal kick coming up.
Well, you get a chance to go out and see this U.S. team play against Guatemala up in New Britain, Connecticut on June 17th. And that's a very important game for the U.S. They really have to get maximum points out of their home games, which means they got to win them, because going on the road in this zone is not going to be easy. They've lost already in Costa Rica. They will have to play in Guatemala, in El Salvador, and in Trinidad and Tobago in November. So the home victories are crucial to their hopes to get to Italy.
That home number you saw, that phone number that is, was for the Connecticut Junior Soccer Association. Last year when the U.S. team played there, it was not one of these qualifying games, but as I recall, they sold it out. So they had a lot of great soccer fans in that area. They're looking for another great turnout to see the U.S. national team in action against Guatemala. I got a chance to see Guatemala play last year, and they are a very good side. Balboa, the 19-year-old, didn't want to do that. Murray will take it. Bruce Murray to midfield, trying to beat too many.
Yeah, that's the kind of mistake they just cannot afford.
Good job, Windishman. To Klopas. Murray looking for it. Flipped over. Morris and Vinoli. Vinoli got it. Can't use his hands out there. That's a great reaction, and that's what the U.S. national team has in mind when they want their goalkeeper to be more active.
They sure have. They're creating trouble for themselves, though, by making some very dangerous passes in midfield. There's a high foot that they got away with. But it's all Trinidad at this point. And there's a bad pass out by Solmar. They really are making heavy going of it for themselves and giving Trinidad much too much possession. Here's Hart. Let's see if he can put a stop to it.
Fast in, and now Copas helps out, but a giveaway.
Yeah, he fouled. Yeah.
Oh! Well, you'd like to see the U.S. team go out here on a high note and not have to back their way in. They have played very well in this game, but it appears right now as if Trinidad and Tobago knows, first of all, that they're playing for the tie now, but they've got nothing to lose. They're already down by one, so they're a little bit looser. The U.S. seems a little more timid, less aggressive than they were in that opening half of play.
Well, they certainly are making the kinds of mistakes you don't want it to be making if you're a USA team coach. That is making indecisive or poor passes out of midfield or trying to dribble through three players when it was best just to try to find a teammate or get rid of it in some way. That's not very elegant either by Balboa, who's not set a foot wrong really today. He's played a very steady, unspectacular game.
Yeah, we should have less than 4 minutes to go here in the second half of play, and the U.S. team is still leading 1-0. Vermes and Jamerson, and Vermes gets called for the foul. Quickly played up. Laffey dished it off. Williams long into the box. Leonson Lewis and Balboa. Balboa, strong effort to win that ball. Up for Murray. Jamerson almost gave it away. Again, the unofficial time should be less than 4 minutes. Referee Luigi Agnola keeps time on the field.
Yeah, I have about 3 minutes to go on my watch. Good header by Trichu. Very important header, that one. Let's see if we can get a long ball forward here to Goulet.
Up for Brent Goulet from Jim Gabara. Goulet, a couple of years running, won the Western Soccer League scoring title. He can score. He scored 6 goals in 10 games internationally. To Copas. The U.S. would love to get an insurance talent. Hart to Copas. Vermes was looking for space. He was open for a moment. Copas tackled away by Lewis. Tough tackle, but a good one as it turns out because Trinidad and Tobago has the ball. And numbers advancing offside. Trichu played that offside trap well.
Steve Trichu really has had a super game. He's looked a couple of times in trouble against Maurice Allaby, but given what's been thrown against him, and given the fact that he scored a great goal, I guess he's got to be the leading contender for man of the match if the U.S. hangs on here. And hangs on is the operative expression, I think, because they're beginning to lose a little bit of the composure here, although only in patches. Other times they seem to be okay. And don't give the ball away too much. It's certainly an improvement over what we saw against Costa Rica, where the Costa Ricans really took the game to them, even though they were down a goal.
I was impressed with Costa Rica.
Oh, I was too. I thought they had I think the commentators have been very unfair to them, not giving them credit for what they did accomplish, and they probably should have pulled off.
Was fast in. Block.
There's Hart again.
Yeah. We said his name a lot during the telecast. He's always appears to be around the ball, offensively and defensively. Copas would have liked to have done better with that with Vermes.
Yeah.
Ball tossed into Trinidad and Tobago. Jamerson. Vermes came back and caught the arm. Had to slow things down a little bit.
Unnecessary foul by Vermes there as Hartz was about to win possession or put in the good challenge, so not a helpful situation. There's Balboa miskicking, but Hartz does well.
Vermes reversed it over midfield. Williams, tough way to trap that one. Nice job to get it around Goulet.
Very good. Now hit a long ball forward.
Good skill. Winnisman couldn't cut it off. But only came out and shot to score. It's tied at 1. Worked like Hudson Charles, but we'll wait. Charles. Hudson Charles got it.
Well, you have to say it's a deserved goal because they've worked so hard, but here Winnisman gets beaten by the header, and Trichu for the first time lets his man get away from him. Canoli does all he can to take care of business. He goes down, but a split second too late. Can't fault him. But you see this man getting behind. That was Charles, and there is Vanoli coming out. But they worked a lovely little fake, a give and go. As we said a few minutes ago, at the top of the box, they tried it. It didn't come off. This time outside the penalty area did come off. And I got to say, Trinidad and Tobago gets a deserved goal.
Can't be much more than a minute to go. Unofficially, as Goulet has it, remember, if it ends up tied, that's it. They'll only play the 90 minutes. No overtime, no penalty kicks in this third and final round of play. Right now, Trinidad's looking at getting a point here unless the U.S. can score a goal. Clopas, with still time on the clock. U.S. really wants the 2 points here. Clopas sitting it in low, and it's cleared out. That'll eat off some time. Trinidad Tobago only thinking about that 1 point now. They'll be aggressive defensively. Up for Goulet. Burmese after it, kicked away. U.S. team saw that 1-0 lead slide by in the end, but you could see it coming. Here's Burmese. Still with the ball. Knocked away. Cleared up. Trinidad Tobago on the go with Leonson Lewis at midfield. Lewis lifting it long. Winnishman heading it. Stolmeyer. And the referee has blown his whistle. That's the game. While heads are down on the U.S. team, they thought they had the 2 points, and instead will only come away with 1. Great effort for Trinidad Tobago, never giving up. I'm not sure if the U.S. team was running out of gas or just making some very bad decisions out there, but Trinidad Tobago did come back and got, for them anyway, a well-deserved 1 point out of this one. But a tough loss, I'm sure, for the U.S. to swallow. We'll talk about it when we come back.